three or four rats.
Hello, Mike. I look forward to talking with you today. I know you have many friends, and friends enjoy attending parties. Suppose you could plan any type of New Year's Eve party for your friends. Describe what you would do.
Really, not a lot. I wouldn't go to a lot of parties. Maybe a big one where we go to a movie. We watch a movie. I prefer to hang out with friends, laugh. I see how other people do their parties, and I think it's cool. But later on, maybe I would be interested in that. But I don't want to have to deal with voting who drives and all that. Like, it's easier just to walk.
Your party seems very calm. Some people like to plan wild parties. That's not something you'd like?
I prefer the more laid back. After graduation, I'll prefer to be independent with no school. Don't have to worry about that type of stuff anymore.
Tell me about your family.
So my parents are hearing, and I have a brother who's hearing, and then there's me. I'm deaf. I have a sister who's hearing, and then a younger sister who's hearing as well. My brother's name is Nick. I'm Mike. My sister's name is Carla, and my other sister's name is Kayla. And my parents are Gail, and then my dad is Neil. So my mom's name is Gail.
That's a big family. And you're the only deaf person in the family? How do your mom and dad feel about having a deaf child?
Okay, well, my parents, they didn't know that I was deaf when I was born. I was born, and my parents just had no clue, so no one in my family was deaf. I was the only one. We don't know why it happened, though.
There's brothers.
So when I was like 2 or 3, I got sick, and we went to the hospital. And as I grew up, I started to learn ASL and signs, and my parents were signing too. And now their skills are not that great because I go to school. I go to the deaf school, and so I'm not home a lot, and I can't communicate with my parents that much. And my dad's constantly at work, and so he hasn't really taken care of those skills all this time.
Your mom knows sign language? Do any other people in your family sign?
So my parents, my mom, of course, does, but it's not real ASL. It's not 100%. It kind of feels more like English and basic signs. But she's taken the time to, do it. But my dad, it's not a lot for him. Most of the signs that he learned, he's lost because he's gone all week. He stays at work and, you know, he knows some. But my siblings, they finally started to improve their skills. And so sometimes we'll still write back and forth to each other. But she'll be 9, and then my sister is 10, and so they know some home signs, and they're learning how to sign. They know, mom and dad, and do you want to eat, and just basic signs. Sometimes maybe someday in the future, maybe they can interpret for me because I'm the only deaf person. I'm hoping that they will, though.
Tell me about where you live. Do you have any pets?
Well, my home is on a farm right now, and so there's lots of different animals. A cat, a dog, a bird, fish. There's just many different animals.
So you live on a farm, eh? Tell me about the things you do on your farm.
So I work on the farm for the 4-H, fair, teaching and training animals to be competent and to stand tall and to be champions based on their bodies and, how much money they are worth.
Grooming and training animals for 4-H requires a lot of work and patience. Have you won any awards at the fair?
Hmm, 2 years ago, a year ago or 2 years ago, I won the champion with a pig, and he was black, and he was the best body, and he was in good health.
Congratulations on raising a champion hog. What breed of pigs do you raise?
I don't really know a lot about the different types of pigs, but I just know that it was big once it was an adult, and it was black with lots of spots on it.
Life on a farm can be very interesting. Will you tell me a story about an unusual experience?
Yeah, fine. So trying to remember how many years ago, but anyway, so something funny that happened was a cow, it was about an adult. It was, you know, sleeping, and when I was a teenager, and in the morning, my dad goes out to take care of everything with the cows, and he works and milks them, uses the milking machine, and so he goes out to the place where we do that, and my dad normally turns on the water faucet and then kind of does other things, and he came back to the water faucet and the water had stopped running. He was really confused, and so he kind of messed around with the faucets and it still wouldn't work, and so he looked at the milk machine and the pipes looked good, and so he was thinking, and so he goes out and looks down in the well, and he sees the cow had walked, was eating, and then fell into the well, and it was just living down there. So everyone else is, sleeping, and my mom heard my dad yelling for help. There's a cow in the well. There's a cow in the well. So my mom gets up and runs out there, and she calls me to come out there too. And I'm sleeping, and I'm like, "Where? What's wrong?" And my mom's just telling me that there's a cow in the well, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So I get up and I go out there too with her, and it's funny because it's just like the rope was broken and we couldn't pull it back up. And so we didn't know what to do. So we called out my friend, and he had a big flashlight, and he got there to the well, and all three of us were pulling with all our might trying to get this cow out of there. And the cow was just still living while we pulled it out. And, and so I couldn't go to school because I had to tell my teacher what happened, but it was a really crazy thing that I experienced on that farm.
That story is hilarious. Life on a farm can keep you very busy. Have you and your family been able to go on any special vacations you could describe?
So my favorite vacation was when we went to South Dakota. It was probably about 2 years ago in the summer. My parents and my family, we drove with a camper behind our car all the way up there, out west. And we met up with people that my parents know, and then started to make our way up north and got over the border of South Dakota finally, and we stopped at a history museum. We really liked it, and there was a lot of beautiful things to see, and so we were just looking up, and there was someone talking about all the history, and I just kind of ignored them because I didn't care. And my parents were trying to describe and interpret for me what he was saying, and so I would understand what all the pictures were. And we stopped and saw this cool animal, and we took a picture with that. And it was really good. We traveled all around and saw lots of things throughout the entire state, and kind of made our way around and came back. And once we got everything and saw everything we wanted, we were ready to go, and it was a good vacation.
What an interesting, fun vacation. Do you have plans for this summer?
So this summer, I'm not really sure what I'll do. Last year, I worked, and my boss, what I did was I mowed lawns, and this summer he asked me if I wanted to do that again, and thought, I'll see, and I looked at my schedule, and I and you know I think it's best for my future if I continue to build that resume with the skills and the hours, and the money's pretty good. So I figured I would just go through and do it again.
Do you find any time for activities at school?
Yeah, my favorite after school activity, I really like practicing football. And my coach, he kind of has been observing me and wants me to be on defensive end, which is good. I kind of would get tackled a lot, and he's been kind of reading through and telling me what to do and all these different things. Last year, he wanted me to be both defense and offense, and and now I'm just defense, and I'm just gonna stay there and not switch back and forth between the two. And then basketball, I'll also practice after school, and you know, I'm close to the net with my position, and I'll shoot, but it's still good.
You're involved in so many sports. Wow! What classes do you enjoy at school?
I really love English and language arts. They're basically the same. I really like reading interesting stories, and I just think it's so interesting kind of changing that grammar around.
What do you enjoy most about English and language arts?
English, I like reading and having reflections on it and talking about how I felt about it, and reading's really challenging too.
You enjoy reading? What's your favorite book?
I really like this book. It's about a dog, and it works really hard with people.
That's a great book. Are there other classes you enjoy? What about art?
Art, I liked it before, and I like art, but I don't really do that a lot. I learned it and I liked it, but I'm kind of done with it. My other class that I really like is math and reading, because I think it's really easy, and I think that it will prepare me for after school for engineering in college.
So, have you decided where you'd like to attend college?
I want to go to NITD and learning about working with tools in my hands. I understand that it's not going to be easy, but it's for my future.
good. I know you study history. Do you prefer studying people or events?
Thinking about all that's happened in America and all the people, I feel like out of all the things I've read about, I don't really know a lot about the history of America. I know some about what's happened, but I don't really know much about the people at all.
Those are good comments, Mike. I heard that you're involved in public speaking. What's on your agenda now?
Recently, probably last Friday or Thursday or Tuesday, no, Wednesday, in my speech class, we were editing and typing up and, kind of changing our presentations. And then we had to send it to the lab, which is in Norfolk, and it's a competition. So I sent it off for the competition, and right now I'm just kind of practicing with sharing it and timing it and seeing how long it lasts. It's supposed to be about 5 minutes, and kind of outlined. The topic is goals in life, and it's about my future and, lots of different points that I'm going to be presenting on for what I want to do in the future and understanding what's best for my future and for myself and how I feel about what I want to do with my life and what I need to do for my life to get the future that I want.
What points will you address in your speech?
So the points that I'm going to address, are if you grow up and you're not positive and you don't know anything about, simple things that can help you. That way you can start learning to be positive in life and to know that if you work hard and if you continue to be positive and not so negative, like if you're negative all the time, don't do that. If you want to go to football practice and be positive and it means just kind of letting those negative things go and letting the positives take over, and it's a really useful skill for having a better life later on in the future.
Those are great points. Optimism has such an impact on our success. Many people look up to successful people as role models. Do you have any role models?
Role? Well, my mom is always giving me advice, and she's my role model, and lets me know what I need to do if I want a better future, and she tells me never to worry and to just stay consistent and just keep going. And my mom, of course, she's my role model.
Yes, moms have a significant impact on our lives. Is there any other person you look up to as a role model?
So a famous deaf person that plays football named Kenny Walker. He helps others get their football skills, and he knows how to read the plays and situations, and he's really good at tackling. And before college, he helped other people, and then he transferred, and then he went to Denver and was on their team. And now he's still, you know, doing all these things to this day and helping other people and doing work in that way.
Do you see yourself as a future role model?
I feel like in the future, to kids, I hope that I can look down and, give them advice and, teach them religion and kind of the same things that I was taught and kind of pass that torch for them to want a better future and to have those same ideas about never worrying and just going off in the world and being independent.
You have some very mature ideas. I think you will be a great role model. I've really enjoyed talking with you today. Good luck in all of your activities.